quite fun. So we're going to do it at club today. Now, guys, we've got a bit of a scavenger challenge. So what you've got to do is you've got to get up with your backsides and you've got to go and get something and bring it to the Zoom. And the first one is something older than you. Go!
Wait, come here. Wait, stop! Look at this, look at this.
Right.
Stop older than me. I don't know.
Oh my gosh!
Older than me.
This is your mate. Hello, mate. How are you?
My friend's granddad's driving licence.
Okay. Right, waiting for Danny. Where's Danny gone? Right, guys. Danny, well done. Right, let's go around very quickly. Ross, just in a simple sentence, what have you got that's older than you?
This is a piece of carry wood from
Hey, Neil, don't talk, please, mate. All right.
This is a piece of carry wood, New Zealand, swamp carry, so it's about 1,500 years old.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Sharon.
This was my mother's candle holder. It's a set of hair and it's older than me, and I'm 68.
Oh my gosh. John.
Well, I've got a Wacky Races annual from like 1973, which I bought at the Village Fete. I think it was probably in the 90s at some point. So yeah.
You, good man. Okay, Mark Tootle.
My mobile phone.
That's not older than you, mate.
Look at the state of it, what do you think?
No. How old are you? You're in your 60s, mate. They weren't invented 60 years ago. So sorry.
It looks older than me, let's put it that way.
Neil Pratt for you. Never mind. Neil.
That was my friend Richard, he's older than me.
A live object. Calvin.
Yes.
I've got behind me the table and chairs that was made by for my wife's grandfather on his retirement as head teacher from a school for excluded young people. They felt so strongly about him that they made this wonderful table and chairs which opens out.
Wow.
Around it. It's absolutely wonderful.
Looks great.
So I couldn't bring it to the club. I brought the club to it.
This is good. Laura.
An amethyst rock. And I'm pretty sure these are a few thousand years old, so I'm pretty sure I'm younger than that. I know I'm getting on, but...
That's a good one. Josie.
Like that.
My mum and dad's fruit bowl.
Okay, lovely.
Glass.
This is good. How old is that, Jose?
Whoa, probably 80 years old.
Oh my goodness. Well done. Emma.
I panicked, and so my friend gave me her granddad's driving licence, and it's from 1969.
What year were you born, lovely?
77.
Well done. Nick.
I've got a sock. It's been in the back of the drawer, so it's probably older than me.
Well done,
Well, that's where that went.
Ronnie.
I have a cup which was given to me by my nan. I don't know how old it is, though, I must admit. It's older than me.
Yeah, nice. Classy. Well done. Danny.
But I can't think of anything, I'm afraid, sorry.
Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. It's all good. Well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give that, I think, to Roz and Laura, because I think they're natural older things. I think they won that round.
Yeah.
Right. Round two. Something green.
Something green.
Something green. Danny, something green, mate.
I
I was first.
already got one. I didn't move, and I've got green eyes, and I'm using my eye.
Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Green. Well done, Danny. Is that your lighter?
Moustache.
Oh, blimey. Okay, well, let's get around the other way. Danny, first of all, you, mate, what have you got? You've got your lighter. Well done. Wayne.
I've got a book, Charles Dickens, Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist, Green Book. Well done. Nick.
I have got a book. It's a step working guide, how it works and why. From doing my step work and recovery.
Okay, Laura.
Cool.
Right, I've got 3. I've got piercing, trousers, eyes.
Well done. 3 for 1. Okay, well done. Jose.
Cyclamen leaves.
Cyclamen leaves. Well done. Emma, raw emerald. Is that a real emerald?
It is. I picked up this piece from a crystal shop in Bristol, I believe.
Wow, well done.
Raw piece of
Well
emerald.
done. Calvin.
Being a hygienic kind of fellow, I have found some toilet gel.
Lovely. Right, have you got any, Neil, have you got any little green men as well as your flatmate there?
Oh, yes. Well, that's the Tiger's year, but the done fine.
Okay. Mark.
It's green.
Well done. Mark.
Picture frame.
Nice. Okay. John. Hey, green parrot. That's good. Sharon.
This is a collage I'm sewing that's done on the back of a deck chair covering.
Nice. Okay.
Of the sea.
This is good. Okay, and then Roz.
This is a very expensive knot from the House of Commons.
Oh my
from
God.
the shop. I didn't steal it, I bought it.
Okay.
It's a poster.
This is very good. Well, again, I think the greenest of the green things there. I think Sharon, the back of Sharon's thingy, that's good. And I think so. Sharon, I'm going to give a point to you, and I'm going to give also for the raw emerald, Emma. I think you guys, well done, well done. Right, the next one, round 2, very 3 even, very very quickly. Something precious, my precious.
Precious.
Yeah, something precious for you, you know, sentimental or something precious.
Okay. Got 2 things. A shoe and a watch.
Shoe.
In Nick's case, it'll be the other sock.
Yeah.
Go with the other trainer.
Yeah. Right, how are we doing? Something precious. We're waiting for Wayne. We're waiting for Danny. We're waiting for Calvin. Have you got something yet? And
I have.
John.
Right here.
Okay.
Two things. Firstly, my wedding ring.
Okay.
And secondly, an Ordnance Survey map of Dartmoor.
Okay. Well, that's nice. That's good. Okay. Nick.
Yeah, I've got my watch as it was a birthday present of my mum. And trainer, because I love buying trainers.
Good.
How many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably some in the wardrobe as well.
Oh my gosh. Well done. Wayne.
I actually didn't know what to choose, so I chose this beloved book, which you guys gave me. If you see it. I've been writing in it quite a lot, so yeah. Just to see precious.
That's good. Oh, Wayne, that's really hard on me. Bless you. Danny, what about you, matey?
Well, what's the show? It's gone out.
Pardon?
So I was to put my cat on the picture, but it's gone out, so I can't show my cat.
Oh, your cat, yeah.
Yeah, but my wallet is all I've got.
Okay, your wallet and your cat. Okay. Emma, your lovely little boy, is that right?
I've got this picture of my little boy, and this picture went with me all the way to Tenerife and made it back in one piece. So it's quite a special little picture. It's one of the things that kept me going whilst I was away. And also, of course, my dog.
Yeah, there he is. Okay, right, guys. Okay, we have to be very, very quick. Here we go. Okay, all right. So, Rosie, very quick.
My wedding ring.
Okay, well done. Yeah. Snap. Laura.
Little girl.
Oh, bless her.
One.
And you're fine. Okay, Mark Tootle.
Oh, yeah.
That book you got, that joke book you got me at Christmas.
Oh, bless you, mate.
There you go, nice one.
Good man. That's good. Neil.
My phone, there's a lot about it.
Okay. Okay.
My phone got the problem about it.
Okay, good man. John.
Well, there's this photo where me meeting one of my favourite actors in Southampton a couple of years ago.
Wow. Who is that?
She's called Lisa Cole, and she's been in various bits and pieces.
That's great. That's good, mate. Well done. Sharon.
This is my grandmother's engagement ring.
Whoa.
Nice.
It's very old and it's 3 diamonds.
And very precious to you. That's good.
It is, yeah.
Oh, Roz.
This was a little vase that was in my house as I grew up. And every Easter I put primroses in it to remember my mum.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Well, guys, lovely. This is so good. Listen, we're gonna move on. So on to the next part of the club. But we'll be back later. So guys, thank you ever so much, and we'll see you all later. Okay, wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Really good fun. So guys, what we're going to do now is we are going to look at some monologues. Thank you guys, thank you. Oh, that applause. Thank you. I'll tell you, it's really, really good fun. It's really, really good fun doing those Zooms. And we really want as many people to get involved as possible. We had quite a few the other week. And basically, we do pre-record them. It's a bit of fun. Just helps everyone feel engaged. And we have got some really fun activities coming up. We actually did 2 yesterday, so you're going to see those guys later on as well. So we're talking about monologues today. And I'm going to set you a challenge, because obviously we've had the duologue challenge. Dun, 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 right, which we are now moving on. Where is it? Here we are. Write a duologue challenge, and we've had quite a few which have been really fantastic. Sharon's was brill, Mark's was brill. I know Laura's written a really good one, which we haven't seen yet, but that's sort of in the pipeline, as it were. But we're going to move on. We've done the COVID songs, we've done some duologues. Now we're moving on to monologues. Now, what is a monologue? Some of you might say, well, what is a monologue? Well, in plays, a monologue, okay, is different to a soliloquy. And guys, you need to remember this because it might come up later. Okay, in a play, a monologue is where the protagonist, the main actor or the character, they speak to the audience. So they break what's called the fourth wall, and they actually engage and talk to the audience. Now, monologues can take the shape of any sort of thing, really. If you look at the talking heads, which I don't know whether you've seen, the Alan Bennett talking heads have been really fantastic. And what's really clever about them is that they have a really strong storyline, a really, really strong storyline. So he writes them in, they're about half an hour long, and he writes them in 3 scenes. So you get to meet the character. And I loved the one the other night about the vicar's wife, only because my mum was a vicar's wife, and really fascinating how she was really hacked off with the church and, all these women who were, in my day, we used to call them cassock chasers, women who fancied the vicar. And she ends up having this relationship with, I think it's a Sikh or something, in the back of a, Indian shop. Really interesting storyline, really, really interesting story. And, you could see the heartache and the fact that, her marriage was broken down, a relationship with her husband and, all the expectation that was put on her. But, it was just done in you hearing her thoughts and her almost talking. There was another one, which I thought was fab, with Kristen Scott Thomas, who is a brilliant actress, where she runs this antique shop. And she basically runs this antique shop, and there's this old dear over the road who's dying. So she sort of sniffs around her stuff and starts to get to know her, so she can then get and inherit some of her stuff. And she's really hacked off when the old dear dies. And she's just given this box of rubbish, basically. Anyway, in this box of rubbish, I'm a real sort of spoiling the plot here. There's a picture of a thumb, a sort of little frame thumb. She thought it was rubbish. And this young guy comes into her shop, buys it, only worth 3 million quid, because it's actually, it's a study for the Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo.
and the guy was from Christie's. But, you know, the way in which he gradually builds up the tension, but gradually puts in the thing. And this is what I thought was really good the other day about, you know, John and Alexa wrote that lovely duologue, you know, about being shut down and how difficult it was, and, you know, about the weird flatmate Molly, and then, you know, she's doing all these experiments, these smells coming out of her room, and then the post office gets blown up, and of course it's Molly. You know, in a really short period of time, you can write something that's really, really clever, where you're not being really obvious, where you're not actually sort of spoon feeding the audience. They've got to put it together. Now, I've got a fantastic monologue here, which, oh my gosh. Nick, I think this has got your name written all over it, mate. Seriously, I said this the other day. This has got your name written all over it. My son sent me this as a bit of a laugh. And it's actually, it is a monologue, but if you look at it, it's so simple. And if you were just to hear it, you'd think, oh, it's a nice conversation. It's just a bloke on a Zoom conversation. But when you look at what he's holding up, it's absolutely hysterical. So have a look at this. This is the first one.
Hello, mate. Just a short message just to let you know that everything here is going really, really well, and we're having a great time. We're really enjoying this time in the house together, 24/7, and doing some really good things and making some positive changes and trying to be healthy. We've been on a vegetarian diet, and the best thing apparently is that I've stopped drinking beer, which is great. In the mornings, we've been doing a yoga video on YouTube, which is, as you can imagine, great, because you know how much I enjoy exercising. The good thing I have to say though is that she's keeping the house very, very clean. You know, with the virus and everything, hygiene is very, very important, and so that's another good plus. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I'm okay, and I hope everything's going well for you, and I really look forward to speaking to you next time. Cheers, mate.
Isn't that hilarious? Oh my gosh, it's so hilarious. You know, if you were to just to listen to it, you'd think, what is going on here? But, you know, the subtext is actually, you know, he's talking to his mate and he's thinking, this is just awful. You know, and it really sort of shows the tension in some relationships. Now, I want to show this one as well. Because this is a really fab monologue. This is a series of monologues, actually. It's the whole sketch is just a series of monologues that I wrote for the first Under One Roof, and we're going to focus on just one, but we're going to watch the whole sketch. I know we've watched it before, but this sketch I wrote about homelessness, and it was about specifically people I'd met. So all the storylines are absolutely true. They're all absolutely true. They're based on people. And I want you to look specifically at the character that Alexa plays, because that's the one we're going to look at in a second, and we're going to discuss it because, you know, this is based on real people's real scenarios. So let's just have a little look at this.
We all judge people by what we see. They say you never get a second chance at a first impression. Also, it's often said, never judge a book by its cover, yet sadly, everybody does it. When you see that person lying in the doorway, do you think they're a bad person? A loser? Why? Hopefully this next drama will show you that bigotry and prejudice are born out of ignorance, and we actually should never judge a book by its cover or a person, because we're all under one roof. Just 3 steps away from homelessness ourselves.
2/3 of rough sleepers said they had been insulted by a member of the public.
1 in 10 said they'd been urinated on.
I remember standing there with a knife in my hand. I wanted to kill him. How could I tell anyone what was really going on? He threatened to hurt my children. I suppose in the end he just pushed me too far. 6 years. 6 years of being beaten and raped. I just felt numb, dead inside until one day he did it to me in front of my children. I didn't kill him, although I could have. They gave me 2 years. And my 2 girls were taken away from me and put into care. And when I come out, he threatened to hold me down and kill me. Well, I just get away. I've lost everything that mattered to me anyway. I turned to the drink because it helped numb the pain. It still does numb the pain. It helps me escape. I need to escape every day.
46% of homeless women have experienced domestic abuse.
27% of all homeless people have or are recovering from an alcohol problem.
Drug addicts or in
Okay, quite shocking, I know that. But that was based upon a real person, their story. But the way it was written, and I know, Calvin, you were asking what is the difference between a monologue and a soliloquy. Well, I'm going to tell you, a soliloquy is where you hear the character's thoughts. So basically where it's written that you're actually hearing the thoughts going over in a person's brain. Whereas a monologue can be actually like a narrator, or it can be about... It engages with the audience. Now, I'm going to do something. I'm just going to put the lights on because we're going to look at something else now. Because the third one I want to look at, okay, the third monologue, is from a play that I was in. Oh my goodness, probably 15 years ago. Tennessee Williams wrote Cat on Hot Tin Roof, and I was in the Glass Menagerie about 15 years ago with Bijou. That was me, set in the Deep South in America. And the thing about Tennessee Williams is that he uses very, very cleverly the use of monologues as a device. And it's only a 4-hander. There are only 4 people in it. It's a really sad play. It's a beautifully written play. It's a wonderful, wonderful play. It's about betrayal. It's about, feeling trapped. It's about disability. It's about a controlling mother. It's about there are so many themes in it that are really sad and touching. The sister, played by the lovely Jo Loosemore, who is one of my favourite people to work with, and she was fantastic. She played Laura, my disabled sister, and she collects these little crystal glass characters in the play, and they have a very, very close relationship. But the mother is very controlling, and the father abandoned them when they were very, very young. Left them with this very controlling mother, and so there's almost an inference that the girl's disability has been brought about by the mother's controlling character. And what I want to do is I just want to I want to focus on, I want to show you the opening passage to this, because this will give you a really good example of what we mean when we talk about monologues. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you, how about this? How cool is this? I had the wonderful opportunity to go to New Orleans. Oh gosh, where is it? To go to New Orleans after show another time. And I went to Tennessee Williams' house, saw where he wrote these plays, saw where he lived. Oh, fantastic, really fantastic. So this is the beginning. I'm going to actually read you the opening monologue, because I tell you, it was only a four-hander, but it was really hard work, because there were just the four of you characters, and the guy who plays the gentleman caller, played by the wonderful Dean Brayley. He played the gentleman caller. He only comes in one scene, which is in the middle, and he plays a co-worker of Tom, which was the character I played. And Tom is trying to escape. So basically, he's trying to escape from this really claustrophobic sort of home situation where he's got to look after his disabled sister, and his mother's really sort of like totally over the top. So I'm going to read this in character, and it will give you a really good example of what a monologue is. Yes, I have tricks in my pocket. I have things up my sleeve. But I am the opposite of a stage magician. He gives you illusion that has the appearance of truth. I give you truth in the pleasant disguise of illusion. To begin with, I turn back time. I reverse it to that quaint period, the 30s, when the huge middle class of America was matriculating in a school for the blind. Their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes. And so they were having their fingers pressed forcibly down on the fiery braille alphabet of a dissolving economy. In Spain, there was a revolution. Here, there was only shouting and confusion. In Spain, there was Guernica. Here, there were disturbances of labor, sometimes pretty violent in otherwise peaceful cities such as Chicago, Cleveland, or St. Louis. This is the social background of this play. The play is memory. Being a memory play, it is dimly lighted. It is sentimental. It is not realistic. In memory, everything seems to happen to music. That explains the fiddle in the wings. I am the narrator of the play, and I am also a character in it. The other characters are my mother, Amanda, my sister, Laura, and a gentleman caller who appears in the final scenes. He is the most realistic character in the play, being an emissary from a world of reality that we were somehow set apart from. But since I have a poet's weakness for symbols, I am using this character as a symbol. He is the long-delayed but always expected something that we live for. There is a fifth character in this play who doesn't appear except in this larger-than-life-size photograph over the mantel. This is our father, who left us a long time ago. He was a telephone man who fell in love with long distances. He gave up his job with the telephone company and skipped the light fantastic out of town. The last we heard of him was a picture postcard from Mazatlan on the Pacific coast of Mexico, containing a message of 2 words: hello, goodbye, no address. I think the rest of the play will explain itself. So that is the opening of The Glass Menagerie, which is a fantastic play. And that is a really, really fab example of a monologue. Now, guys, we are going to move on to the next bit, which is more fun and games. So I'm going to just go and get the lights off. And we are going to move over here. Here we go. We're going to move over here. Oh, gosh, it's like being in a theatre, isn't it? It's fab. I love the lighting. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the next bit. So let's have a little look here. Just got to get it set up. And it's got to be 1556. Right, so there is talk that I might have a technical helper one of these days. The lovely Brian Morrison, when we get to a little bit more easing out, is going to come and help me be like a technician, so I don't have to be like all singing, all dancing. So hang on, where are we up to? 15:56. Right, here we go. So I'm going to just move this along. Okay.
Oh. Can it not be the Van Gogh one?
Right, hang
Do you
on.
want to do the Van Gogh one? Okay. So far, hilarious. So, particularly that one we just...
Right, here we go. Sorry. I'm just trying to line it up.
Well, guys, lovely. This is so good.
Right.
We're going to move on. So on to the next part of the club. But we'll be back later. So, guys, thank you ever so much. And we'll see you all later.
This is like, oh my goodness, trying to work it up live from one video. Hilarious, eh? So I'm just going to chat among ourselves while we're getting sorted out so that we get to the next bit.
So we're going to do the improvisation. So who fancies doing the improvisation?
In fact, I'm just going to let you watch this. You can see what we're up against.
Okay. Anyone else?
You'll see how we do it, and you might want to join in with us next time.
All right. Maybe Danny. We might have time.
We might have time.
We're going to start again.
Here we go. Going to start again.
And then we'll go for it.
This is live.
Okay. Right. So here we go. Okay, guys, we're going to carry on looking at monologues, and very interesting what we watched so far. It's hilarious. So, particularly that one we just watched, which Nick, I think, has got your name written all over it. We're going to get you to give it a go, as I was talking to you the other day. Hilarious. But what we're going to do now is we're going to have another little activity whereby what we're going to do is we're going to do just a minute improvisation where you have got to do a monologue. So, hands up those who want to do it. Hands up who want to have a go. Right, Emma, your hand went first. Right, Emma, you have got to improvise for a minute speaking on this subject. Of course, they had to take down a wall to get it to hospital.
Can it not be the Van Gogh one?
Do you want to do the Van Gogh one? Okay. It's not every day that you find a Van Gogh painting in your loft. On your marks, get set, go.
You'll never believe it. It was so funny. We was turning out because my grandma had died, as they do when they get old, right? Anyway, so we were turning out all the antiques and we were turning out all the furniture, and I decided I was going to go up in the loft. Up I goes, turn the light on because it's really dark up there, and there's really big spiders. You don't want to get entangled in them. Anyway, so I'm looking through all her old stuff. I'm going to come across this painting, and I was like, oh, that's nice. It's all blue and swirly. And I love blue and I love all the swirls. And I thought, I think I recognise that. It's so recognisable. And I'm pretty sure I saw one in a gallery. And it turns out, after a bit of thinking, I recognised it to be a Van Gogh painting. And it was the one of the fields. I can't remember. Oh, Starry Night. That's what it was called. Starry Night. Anyway, so I ran down there. Well, I say ran. I carefully climbed down from the loft. Went and got my brother and went, you'll never believe what I found in the loft. I've just found a Van Gogh painting. It's not every day you find a Van Gogh painting. Who knew Grandma had a Van Gogh painting? Well, you should have seen the colour on his face. He went pale. Then he went bright red. I thought he was going to pass out.
Whoa, well done. Well done. Emma, really, really good. Okay, let's do another one very, very quickly. Hands up, who wants to do another one? John, your hand up went next. Okay, John. Here's yours. You've got a minute. I'm resetting it. Don't laugh, but I've applied to be the Queen's under butler. On your marks, get set, go.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to do some rather strange things to get up in society. So one must not laugh at this. One must really not laugh, you know. But I have applied to be the Queen's under butler. Now, that may sound like some sort of comedy job title, but of course, no, it isn't. This is a very, very important role, you see. Because, of course, if no one did this job, then there would be much less etiquette in the royal family, dear boys and girls and darlings and everyone. Because, of course, it would not be what it is today without this piece of job that I have. because, of course, that is the big thing.
Whoa, well done, John. Well done. Very good. Right, here we go. Right, let's do another one. Who wants to do another one? All right, Sharon, your hand went up. Okay. The day the vicar got stuck up my chimney.
There was a knock at the door, and just as I was about to answer it, I heard this terrible fluttering and noise coming from the chimney, a lot of squawking, and I thought, goodness gracious me, what on earth is going on? But I didn't have time to look because the knock on the door got more and more insistent. I thought I'd better go and answer the door in case it's something to do with the noise in the chimney. But of course it wasn't. It was the vicar who'd come around for tea, and I'd forgotten all about him coming. Anyway, I invited him in and settled him down. He was very polite. He didn't comment to start with about the noise coming from the chimney, and I pretended it wasn't happening as well. But it got so insistent and so loud, I thought I had to say something because it was a bit rude to invite him round and be confronted with all this noise. I said, I don't know what it is. It started just before you came to the door, and I haven't had a chance to look. I said, well
done. Really thinking, I can see that becoming a really good monologue because the vicar hasn't even got stuck at the chimney. Right, one more. Let's do another one. Okay, hands up who wants to do another one. Nick, here we are, mates. Right. Okay. Of course, they had to take down the wall to get her to hospital. Go.
God, I called the ambulance, right, and it came in, and as I went downstairs, I couldn't find her. She was nowhere to be found, and all I heard was this little bellowing coming. And then I put my glass to the wall, found out she's only been, the plasterers are up, the bricklayers have only put her behind the wall, just didn't know what to do. Started chipping away, scraping, like getting the end of a spoon, trying to get her out. Nothing was happening. All I could hear was this little squeals. Help me, I need to get to the hospital. I said, what's wrong with you? She said, oh, I just tripped over and fell in here, in this hole. I thought it was the cupboard, there might be a broom in here. And then they just bricked me up. God, now what am I going to do? She's got to come back out. Help, someone please help me. I don't know what to do. Can I get the builders round again? Can they chip her out? Oh my God. Get out of the wall.
Well done. Guys, listen, well done. Guys, we're going to have to finish actually in a second. So listen, well done. Thank you so much for that. We're going to move on to the next bit. So well done. Well done.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, Nick, you make me laugh. Hilarious. You are so funny. I'll tell you, you've got to do that sketch when we come to do our sort of COVID night of fun. COVID night of fun. That'll be hilarious. Really good. And John, your under butler, hilarious. Really funny. Very, very good. Right, so guys, now next bit we've got a lovely quiz for you. We're going to have a quiz every week, which we've been doing for quite a while, which was the specialist subject quiz. Do you remember this? And last week, if you remember, we had here we are. Where are we? Specialist subject quiz. I'm not going to do the graphics and then not use them. Specialist subject quiz. So today it's all about monologues, believe it or not. And last week we had the lovely Calvin doing the quiz. So the idea is that every week we're going to get someone different to do the quiz. And look who's only doing it today. The lovely Laura. The lovely Laura is doing the quiz for us. So let me get this lined up. This is hilarious. And my goodness, has she gone the extra mile? Talk about effort. This is fab. This is so fab. You're going to love this, guys. So get your pens and paper. Always a bit of fun. So obviously the subject is monologues. So here we go.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Big Solo Quiz. Today, we relate the word singular. I'm given a total of 10 questions. Remember, everybody can join in at home, but only one person gets the call and has to go it alone. Get a pen and paper ready. Please don't write your answers on the side. I'm Laura Gillies, your quiz master for today. Let's play the Big Solo Quiz. Question number 1. What does a soliloquy usually reveal about a character. What does a soliloquy usually reveal about a character? Question number 2, guys. What is the difference between a soliloquy and a monologue? What is the difference between a soliloquy and a monologue? Question number 3. Which Shakespearean character delivers the most infamous soliloquy, to be or not to be? So, which Shakespearean character delivers the soliloquy, to be or not to be? Question 4. Who was the first person to fly across the Atlantic solo? So who was the first crazy person to do it all by himself? Question number 5. Okay, the hit show Fleabag was based on which famous actress one-woman show that was first seen at the Edinburgh Festival? So the hit show Fleabag was based on which famous actress one-woman show that was first seen at the Edinburgh Festival? Number 6. What character in the musical Hamilton, is the only one not in America but in England, and who sings the comedy monologue song? So what character in the musical Hamilton was the only one that was not in America but in England who sings the comedy monologue song? Number 7. Which famous actor devised performed in several very successful one-man shows about Oscar Wilde and Charles Dickens, and is about to embark in a new one-man show as the composer Richard Wagner? So, which famous actor has devised and performed in several very successful one-man shows about Oscar Wilde and Charles Dickens, and is about to embark in a new one-man show about the composer Richard Wagner? Okay, guys, we are on question number 8. Question 8. Which famous American playwright in the 40s and the 50s, who lived for many, many years in New Orleans, used the device of the monologue in many of his famous plays? So this is an actor and playwright from the 40s and 50s who lived for many years in New Orleans, used the device of the monologue, so basically used monologues quite a lot, in many of his famous plays. On to question number 9, guys. Which famous comedian had the longest running solo comedy show for 12 years and over 2,000 shows that ran in the history of Las Vegas? Which famous American comedian had the longest running solo comedy show for 12 years and over 2,000 shows to run in the history of Las Vegas? And finally, guys, question number 10. In what year did the first recorded person swim the channel? In what year did the first recorded person swim the channel? Okay, guys, that's all your questions. Hope they're all written down well, and good luck.
Wow, that's great, isn't it? Oh my goodness, it's like being in a real quiz show. So guys, I don't know how you've done. I want to see how you're getting on down the side there. Now, I just want to show you this very, very quickly. Here we go. Look, this is Tennessee Williams' house. This is Tennessee Williams' house. look, this is where he wrote, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Here we are. Let me show you. Here we are. And there's a plaque here as well. Hang on. Let me just find it. It's this one. Yeah, that one. That's Tennessee Williams' house, where he wrote Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and Glass Menagerie. And let me show you the plaque. There's a little plaque as well. There we are. It's the plaque outside his house saying that Tennessee Williams lived there. Can you see that? How exciting is that in New Orleans? So, guys, we're going to have the question. We're going to have the answers now. And then I want to see how many of you got, how many you got upside. So here we go. Lovely Laura's going to be giving us the answers. So here we go. So I don't know how you did. Right, here we go. Let's get this up again. Oh gosh, it's quite tricky. Sorry. It's so Heath Robinson, isn't it? Certainly not going to win a BAFTA for technical expertise. I'll tell you that now. It's just so pants. So rubbish at this. Right, here we go.
Okay, so here are the answers. Question 1 was, what does a soliloquy usually reveal about a character? Now, if you had the answer, innermost thoughts, you got it right. So basically, innermost thoughts was the answer to question 1. Question 2, what is the difference between a soliloquy and a monologue? The answer to that one is a soliloquy is when an audience hears the character's thoughts. A monologue is where the character is talking to the audience. Number 3, which Shakespearean character delivers the most famous soliloquy? To be or not to be? Come on, guys, it's Hamlet. Come on, he's holding the skull. We all know that. Okay, number 4. Who was the first person to fly across the Atlantic solo? Right, his name was Charles Lindbergh, and in 1927, at the age of 25, flew non-stop from New York to Paris in 33.5 hours. That's pretty good back in those days. Okay. Number 5, the hit show Fleabag was based upon which famous actress one-woman show that was first seen at the Edinburgh Festival? Her name was Phoebe Waller-Bridge. It's Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Number 6, which character in the musical Hamilton is the only one not in America but in England and who sings the comedy monologue song? It was George III. I think we keep taking the mick out of him through the years, don't we? Poor George. Number 7. Which famous actor has devised and performed in several very successful one-man shows about Oscar Wilde and Charles Dickens and is about to embark on a new one-man show about the composer Richard Wagner? Simon Cowell. Not Simon Cowell, Simon Callow. Number 8. Which famous American playwright in the 40s and 50s who lived for many years in New Orleans used the device of the monologue in many of his famous plays? Tennessee Williams. The name kind of gives it away. Number 9, which famous American comedian had the longest running solo comedy show for 12 years and over 2,000 shows to run in the history of Las Vegas? Rita Rudner. Well done, anybody who heard that. And number 10. Oh, we've got a little bit of extra information here for you guys after this one. In what year did the first recorded person swim the channel? Answer is August 25, 1875. 27-year-old Captain Matthew Webb, 21 miles, but because of the tides, and it was the equivalent of 39 miles in 21 hours and 45 minutes.
That's pretty impressive. So there are your answers, guys. I hope you did well.
Thank you, Laura. That's great. Oh my goodness, that's so good. Isn't that fun? So I want to see, now it was very tricky today, I have to say. It's a really tricky quiz. Really, really tricky quiz. So I don't expect you to get 10 out of 10. In fact, I doubt if any of you got 10 out of 10. Right, here we go. Now I'm lining up the next thing. So guys, yeah, let me know how many you got. That was quite a tricky one. So what we're going to do next is we are going to have Poetry Corner. Here we go. Ta-da! Here's Mark. This has been really, really popular. Mark's written some great poems. Now, if you want to write a poem, you can still write a poem. You know, we want to. Only 1 out of 10. Claudia! Oh, lovely. It's nice to hear you. Bless you. They were really hard questions, to be fair. It was almost like an educational exam, wasn't it? Whoever put that together? Martin Harris. Well, make it easier next time. But 4, Sharon, well done. That's not bad. It's not bad. I did try and give you some of the answers along the way. But well done. This is good. Claudia, I'm so glad you're here. This is so lovely to see you. So anyway, Claudia has written some great poems. And Mark has written some great poems. And he's got one for us today. And the lovely thing is that now that we're sort of coming out of lockdown, we can actually see his lovely face. So here we go. Here's Mark's contribution for this week.
Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. Lovely to see you. This is my latest poem for everybody. Now, because we're in unlocked, I've called this poem Downtown because we can go there. And I've subtitled it because we're going to go there double quick. Put your foot in it. Get down there. So this is the poem. This is what it's going to be about. We're coming out of lockdown. The risk level is now 3. I'll soon be able to give you a hug, then you can give one to me. No more 2 metre distancing. Now we can interact. Full-on snogs are not far away. That has to be a fact. Wearing masks could cause a problem for everyone, including me. I can see this causing mayhem in establishments with CCTV. Non-essential services are open. It's not my imagination. I feel such a sense of pure relief. Now I can go for my colonic irrigation. Will dogs have to start wearing masks? That could prove to be fun. They'd have trouble sniffing the lampposts, let alone each other's bum. We're moving back to normality. I'm going for a ride on my bike. Long may this continue, without a second spike. Thank you.
That's great, Mark. That's so good. I love it. So clever. So clever. So, right, just lining up the next thing. Oh my goodness, talk about action-packed this morning. There's so much happening. So much happening. Right. Now, we have got something to shout about this morning. And we've got a new avatar, which is good. We've got a new avatar. And that avatar is the lovely Wayne. Wayne! Now, Wayne, we were talking to Wayne. You probably saw him at the top of the, joining in, which was good. 10 out of 10. My mummy gave me the answers. Mia, well done, Maya. That's fantastic. Your mum was so clever doing that, wasn't she? I'm glad you're here today. This is great. You got 10 out of 10. You go to the top of the class and you have won. This is fab. Okay, so this is Wayne, the lovely Wayne. Now, we caught up with Wayne. I'll tell you for why. Because if you know, Wayne is involved with another theatre company, which is really fab. And obviously, we try and encourage everyone to get involved with as much that's out there as possible. And he's working with South Devon players. And if you remember, we went and saw them in Macbeth. We had a school trip, went to Brixton Theatre and saw him where he was playing Banquo. Now, what they've been doing, their director, Laura Jury, did a couple of weeks ago, they did a virtual Zoom adaptation of Macbeth. So I thought that was actually something to shout about, because actually we like to encourage other groups as well, and particularly when one of our guys like Wayne is in it. So I caught up with Wayne Monday it was, and this is what he had to say.
Okay, now we've got Wayne here. Wayne, this is great. It's really good to see you, mate. Wayne is a very familiar face in the club. He's been in loads of stuff. Really great actor. Played a great part in the last play we did, Cross and Switchblade, Blood Brothers tribute last year. You've done loads of stuff with us, and really talented guy. So, Wayne, listen, mate, how has lockdown been for you?
I don't want to say this and get a bit of backlash, but I feel like it's been a slight bit of a blessing, only because it's like priorities have shifted.
Yeah.
What I noticed initially with the lockdown is that within a couple of weeks, like even my sisters, you know, they start wearing makeup, this, that, and the other, and then they start to see things differently. So it didn't really matter how they looked. Well, sorry to say, more came towards survival, but when that little phase passed, you know, people went into a bit of a creative manner.
Yeah.
And I really like that. So,
yeah. And I mean, what's really great about you, Wayne, is obviously you've been with the group for quite a number of years, and you know, we've loved having you. But you are also part of the South Devon Players, which is really great, based in Brixham. Laura Jury's lot, and they do a great job. I mean, we came and saw you in Macbeth, and my goodness, you were fab in that. We had a little school trip to come and see you at the theatre in Brixham. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that? Because it's had quite a long life, Macbeth, hasn't it? And there's stuff, which is the big shout out, which is why you're on Something to Shout About. You're going to tell us. So tell us about the Macbeth production you've been in.
Okay, the one that you came to.
Yeah, the one that we all came to.
Say.
Our school trip.
It was amazing. It made me so happy, honestly. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. But that in general, yeah, I think I'd done one production with them before, in theatre anyway. And Laura was saying, you know, what type of part roughly would you go for if you had the opportunity? I was like, I'm not really sure because I've only just started out. But she gave me the opportunity to audition for some places and then, you know, see what she thought I would be okay with. So I would like to clarify, she was great in the sense that when I first met her, I told her that I was anxious, you know, I knew I was anxious in terms of acting or you know, any sort of role play, this, that, or the other. So she took me in with open arms, and that was not long after I met you, which was great. And we went to that first show, which for me was Under One Roof too. Sorry, loved it. Anyway, so basically, the production itself was phenomenal. We had a great team, people that could fight, this, that, and the other. I got the luxury of fighting as well, thankfully. And the part of Banquo, I feel like I've grown a lot from learning that part, because he seemed like such an individual character to me. He seemed like his loyalties were, I don't want to say just to Macbeth, but also just to doing the right thing, let's say, as much as it is. Like, he didn't really have an allegiance. It was more doing the right thing. Unfortunately, they murdered me, but nevertheless. So, long story short, I never really knew a lot about Macbeth or Shakespeare in general. And I'm still a bit like this with it. But reading the text made me feel a part of something much, much bigger, especially when we were on stage. It was like, wow, like I never felt this feeling before. It was incredible, like delivering these lines that were written so long ago, and yet we're here in Brixham on a stage performing. It was just bizarre.
It was really fab. I mean, and I loved the setting. It was sort of like a sort of dystopian future where everything was like sort of mad. You know, almost like Mad Max, very modern setting. I loved it. I thought it was really imaginative and it was really well done. I mean, you guys did a great job. But it's had another life, hasn't it? Because you've taken it elsewhere. But since lockdown, a couple of Saturdays ago, Sundays or whenever it was, you actually did it as a sort of Zoom performance, didn't you? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I don't know how this exactly came to be. I think it was thrown in the air a couple of months ago, based on the fact that they couldn't do their previous show in the theatre because obviously COVID came to be. So I think they converted to doing it via Zoom. And then when they did that, they thought, you know, why don't we just ask people to see if they want to do Macbeth again? So they did ask the original cast, to be fair. Not everybody joined, which is fair enough. You know, living spaces are a bit, can you, can't you? Right now I'm back at home, so I've got this wall here. When I was at my friend's, I didn't have this. I could turn it around, to be fair. To put a green screen up, which, just got to say, is pretty much just tablecloth. That's what I put on the wall, but it worked. And then so we had interactive backgrounds for different scenes. It was a great learning experience because we had to basically somehow quietly change our scene from one to the next.
That's
while
right.
making no noise.
Because with Zoom, you go to backgrounds, don't you? Which is quite funny. You go to here we are. Choose virtual backgrounds. Here we are. Let me see if I can do it while we're on. Hilarious. Right, there we go.
Hey, beautiful.
Hey, I'm at the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, really good, but very imaginative. So they obviously sent you the images that were loaded up onto a computer, and then you, in the same scene as the other guys, you'll put the same background up. That is very clever, very clever.
Yes, and because it was all voice activated, we really had to be quiet when we weren't talking, and we had to almost let the person deliver their line, but in the process of them doing it, just show a little bit let them show a little bit of expression. And then by doing that, you kind of take a step back, and then you come in and respond. And it really, I feel like, made it come together, which was decent and a wonderful.
So how did you do it? How were you all present in the Zoom meeting, but when you were supposed to be off stage? How did that work?
So I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'd say it anyway. As far as I'm aware, how we did it was one person was using OBS to basically record our live show, and then that live show was being distributed for the public to see. So during the live show itself, we had got to see the chat box, and we would be giving commands to when you come on. So they don't tell you when to change your backdrop, this like the other. We practiced that beforehand. But yeah. So it's just a
great
direct route towards it.
OBS. Well, I'll tell you, Wayne, really fab. I mean, hats off to Laura Jury for putting it together. I was just really sorry I missed it. I didn't get to see the publicity, so I didn't know it was on. But my goodness, we would really support you in everything that you're doing. So Wayne, really fab, and it's so good to have you here at the club on a Thursday morning. And hopefully it won't be all too long, so we're all back together rehearsing in real time. But listen, mate, you take care, and really good to see you. And thanks for coming on this morning.
My pleasure, thank you. It's been great.
Bless you, mate. Take care.
That's great, dear old Wayne. This is great. Wayne, I hope you like your avatar. Hey, look at your avatar. You're actually taller than everyone else. I'll tell you, I've got so many people. I've nearly got the whole set. So if you haven't had it, don't worry. Your avatar will come. Upstairs, I've got a whole crowd of virtually the whole of Unleashed community drama, which is fab. Now, we touched upon when we're going to meet and stuff like that. I know a lot of people are really thinking, hey, when are we going to be able to meet in real life? When are we going to do this? When are we going to be back together? I think the reality is for the next few weeks, we've got to carry on like this. What we've decided is we are going to hook up with people. So we're trying to hook up with people on a regular basis in real time. We have got a project that we are going to work towards, which we are meant to be doing in September, October, which is the Heritage project for Mary Maggs, which is going to be a historical piece. So my plan is that we are going to somehow work out, monologues, narration, stuff that we can do, that we can give people that we can actually rehearse via Zoom. So we could hopefully get sorted. And, there'll be a chance for people to write stuff as well. So what we'll do is we'll bring some of the characters in and we'll get people to write stuff and we'll put it together. So there is stuff where we're going to be doing some real acting. We are looking into perhaps a bigger venue, when we might be able to rent that, and possibly doing 3 groups that are absolutely the same, one after the other. So we would be able to meet together, but we would meet in 3 groups and do 3 sessions that are absolutely identical. So that's the plan, guys. I'm going to let you know what's going to happen in the next few weeks, but the trustees are meeting, that the guys on the action team, we've got to make sure that it's all within compliance of what the government is laying down. And obviously, if we meet in a bigger venue, we have to comply with the compliances that they've been given by the government. So that's it. So, guys, can I just really encourage you to jump on here on a Thursday morning? I know numbers have sort of dropped the last few weeks. We're really keen that, for a lot of people who are perhaps shielding, who can't get out, I know a lot of you are watching it during the week, but do try and support this, tell people about it, because it's quite a bit of work. So we really need to just make sure that you guys are really engaging. We want to get as many people on Zoom. We want to get as many people involved as possible. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's taken part today. It's been fun, isn't it? We've had a good time. I think I love seeing everybody. I absolutely love seeing everybody doing their bit. Thank you, Mark, for doing your poetry every week. If you want to write a poem, please do. The challenge is this week to do a monologue. The challenge is I want you guys, and what is really fab is that we can actually record them as monologues, and then we can actually show them. So you wouldn't actually have to necessarily learn them off by heart, like the Dominic Cummings thing that we did with Sharon the other day. The Stone Age thing. We might film those, but actually, for our COVID celebration, night of COVID celebration, we could actually just show a lot of the recorded stuff that we have done. Can I just also flag up that we have got a fantastic new website? It's under construction at the moment. But every single one of these episodes is up there in the archive. There is also an archive of stuff that we've done under one roof, and it's in the process of being built at the moment. So if you go on to www.unleashtheatrecompany.com, I think it is, you will see our new website, and you'll be able to see lots of clips and links to other stuff that's on YouTube. The thing I'm really grateful for is how much we have recorded over the last 6 years, because actually we have so much stuff to show and be really proud of. You guys are doing a great job, and we want to keep connected with you all, and we want to keep doing the stuff. So if you do have any feedback, we are looking for feedback. We did some feedback talking on Monday. Stuff you like, stuff you'd more like to see, stuff you'd like to do, the stuff you'd really like to do on a Thursday morning, please email me. You've got my email, or private message me on Facebook, private message me perhaps on the Unleashed page. But, we're looking for feedback. We want to really support you guys. We want to serve you. We want to encourage you. I feel greatly encouraged that we've been able to sort of all stick together and keep in touch with everyone, and every week do something that's a bit fun. So we are going to finish a quarter of an hour early, but hey, that doesn't matter. So guys, listen, have a great rest of the day, and we will see you next week. Take care. Okay, people are arriving. This is great. If you want to write a comment up the side, this would be great. Oh my goodness, we're in for a great morning. Vicky, hi. Sophie, this is great. My goodness, we've got a treat for you this morning. We have got such a treat. 6 people, this is good. I know more people are going to jump on. It's really, really good. So we'll just wait for a load of people to jump on, which is good. Numbers going up. This is great. Oh my goodness, I tell you, I'm really excited about this myself, actually. Can't wait to see what we're going to see. This is really good. So if you want to write up the comments, say hello, do that. We can have comments during the show. There's so many people in it that you're going to recognise. Molly, nice to see you, lovely. This is great. Margie, hello. Look, I've got my coffee. All I need is my popcorn. Jilly, nice to see you. This is good. Okay. So yeah, we'll just wait for more people. Wait for more people to hop on. Yeah. So here we go. This is good. More and more people jumping on. This is really good. What we're going to do is we're going to live stream it this morning, and then we're going to put it up on YouTube there for posterity. So Sophie, nice to see you. This is good. So, who else is here? Let's see, lovelies. Calvin. Yeah, I know. It's in the Toads programme. I'm going to announce that today, which is great. We've got some exciting news as well. So this is really, really good. Anne, nice to see you. Glad you can join us. Oh my goodness. So, right. Once this music finished, I think we're going to start. I'm going to do the intro and then we're going to start so we can really get going. Because it's quite a long show. Got loads to see. So this is good. The numbers are going up. If you want to say hello down the side, do. This is really good. Really, really good. So yeah. Good, good, good. I've got my coffee. This morning I'm just going to sit back and let you all perform to me. It's going to be great. So, right, we're nearly there. More people jumping on. This is great. And then we can start. I started just a little bit early so we can really get cracking at past. Okay. Guys, welcome to Unleashed Community Drama. We're here every Thursday. This is our 10th week, believe it or not. We have not missed a single week, even during the lockdown. Roz, lovely to see you. This is great. Yeah, I've caught the sun, as you can see. I've been out in the